welcome. Today I have another ink review sample for you, and this one is called Upon a Star by Diamine. And I don't know if there's any sprinkles or sparkles, so I went ahead and I'm going to shake it up the first time. We'll give it a test and see. So let's check this out. Let's do a swatch real quick. Looks like it's a really pretty blue color so far. Yep, very rich, nice blue. All right, I don't think I need to add any more ink to this. It looks like it actually put down quite a bit of ink that first go, so that was nice. All right. All right. This is how it looks so far. I'm going to go ahead and set this under a fan to dry, and I'll be right back. All right, and here I've got some copy paper. We're just going to do a test on here because sometimes you're in a situation where you don't have your nice papers with you, like if you're stuck at school or work, and you just want to know if the ink is going to behave itself so you can put it in your pen and take it with you. So that's why I test on this copy paper. There we go. That's how that looks so far, and it does look like there is some shimmer, which is awesome. So I'll be sure to shake this in between. Okay, and then here is some HP 32, and HP 32 paper is also copy paper. However, it is smooth and it resists the ink really well, and so sometimes if the ink has any special properties in it, they will show up on this paper. So I always like to do a test here, and it's also a very good budget option. There we go. Upon a Star. HP 32. And if there are any colors that you would like to see me review, leave a suggestion. If I have it or if I can get it, then we'll do a review video. All right, that's how that's looking so far. Very nice deep blue color. And then this is some Tomoe River paper, and Tomoe River paper is also very smooth, and it resists the ink nicely. It's also a very thin ink, or sorry, a very thin paper, and this typically will show off the different ink properties the best. So I always like to do a review on it as well. There we go. All right, and this is Tomoe River. And if you like these videos, if they're helpful to you at all, don't forget to hit like and subscribe. That way you won't miss out on any, and it also helps me out. There we go. All right, and I'm going to go check on that swatch real quick and see if it's dry. I'll be right back. All right, so here's how this turned out. This is an interesting one. So this is what it looks like on copy paper. It's a beautiful deep blue, and there's a subtle green shimmer. Very, very pretty. And in certain places where the ink pooled, it's almost like there's a little bit of shading there. And around the edges, there's a very faint halo shading, which is unusual for copy paper. Normally, you're not going to see any kind of shading at all on this paper, so that's really nice. And of course, the shimmers look great. And then on the HP 32, it looks like a different ink because it's got this sheen going around it. There's a red sheen, and that also makes this ink look darker. So it looks a lot like a much darker blue than it is over here. And then, of course, you got that red sheen and then those green shimmers. And in the writing, it creates this lovely shading here that's much different from the effect on the copy paper. So that looks really nice. And then on the Tomoe River, it looks completely different again. Now the ink almost looks red. And it's got that lovely green shimmer and then the dark blue underneath. But because the ink separates better on the Tomoe River paper, the blue in this swatch here looks closer to this blue than this blue. So this looks like 3 different inks depending on the paper that you're using. And in here on the writing, of course, you can see all that lovely shading. And it's super pretty. And the lines, even down here, these lines, some of them are completely different colors from the others, just because of how much sheen is showing on each one. And like up here in these loops, where I first started putting ink down, there's a lot of sheen. So these loops look mostly red, but then down here, they look mostly blue. So it's going to depend on how much ink each stroke is putting down. How will determine how it looks. So this is super pretty. I'm going to see if we can get the light to pick up the shimmers and stuff. Very, very pretty. And I like the color combination, that really pretty blue with the red sheen and the green shimmer. The colors really play nicely together. So this is a really pretty ink. And then let me show you the swatch. And hopefully this will explain what I was talking about a little bit better. Wherever you can see the blue, it's that lovely blue color. And then the sheen is red. And then these little splotches here where you can see the shimmer, they're green. So it's really interesting. Very, very pretty ink. And then here's the writing. So this is a super pretty one. If I can find it, I'll leave a link for it down below for you. And thank you so much for watching. You have a great day.